Hello there and welcome back to my channel. It is of course only me again, and thank you all so much for tuning back in for another metal detecting adventure. So if you watched last week's video, you will remember that we went into a big ploughed field which was once the site of a medieval deer park, and boy did we get some finds. We ended up coming home with 4 hammered coins, lots of buckles and other artifacts, all dating to that time period. Now I had so much fun that day that I didn't want to leave. So this week I have come back to the same field, and hopefully we are going to get just as many amazing artifacts that take us back and put us in touch with the people that once were in this field, hunting deer, working the fields, and maybe even possibly just walking through in footpaths as well. So the big question is, will we find more amazing medieval goodies just like before? Or will we just come home with broken calculators and loads of modern junk thrown in the fields? Well, there's no guarantees to that, but we do have our metal detector charged and ready to go, and we're going to put in a full shift today to see if we can find some more amazing artifacts to show you on the camera. And that leaves me to say thank you all so much for watching. It really does mean the world to me, and if you like metal detecting content just like this, you're in the right place. So hit that subscribe button just below, and if you want to give me a little bit more extra fuel to go out and make videos for you, then do drop me a thumbs up as well. That button's just below. But that's the talking out of the way. I am so excited today to see what we can find. Let's go and do some digging, and I will see all of you on the very first hole. Well, it's a sunny day again, and we have come down on our very first find of the day. And this one, I didn't even have to dig a hole for, because it was just lying on the surface. Now, if you watched last week's video, you will remember that we found a half of a hammered coin just lying in the surface of this ploughed field. Well, this first find, unfortunately, isn't half of a hammered coin, but it's still pretty cool, because I've just gone and spotted a clay pipe bowl, and it's a really early one too, which is really cool. Now, I absolutely love finding these things. I know in some parts of the world you can't walk 3 or 4 steps without picking up absolutely tons of these, but to be honest with you, when you go and metal detect on cultivated fields, usually they're just smashed to pieces. So to find one that is in relatively good condition is a real little bonus. And yeah, nothing metal for the first find, but still a nice little historic find there. Could very easily be 1500s, 1600s. So let's go and see if we can find something metal. So we have come down on another target, and check this awesome buckle out. That is a stunning little spectacle buckle. And wasn't deep again, probably say about 3 inches maximum just below this ploughed soil. And what a screaming sounding target this was. I can't imagine anyone would not dig this out. It was so loud and so decisive that, yep, this one was coming out every day of the week. And check it out. I mean, it's so cool. It's got a little bit of a bend to it, but it is a spectacle buckle. And it's quite an early one. I mean, I would probably hazard a guess and say this could be Tudor, but it also could be into the 1600s as well. So it's definitely got a bit of history to it. And by that, I mean, it could be 500 years old. So this little item here, 500 years ago, was on the belt of somebody, whether it was a man or a woman that was maybe working these fields or maybe walking along a footpath. It must have broken off and fallen to the ground, or either that, it was dumped in the field along with possessions and things like that. So we've come along 500 years later and picked it up, and what a stunning little find it really is. We'll happily find these every single day of the week, and yeah, it's really cool. But let's keep going, because I'm pretty sure we're going to find some amazing stuff in this amazing field. Well, we've been in this field now for probably about 40 to 50 minutes, and we've had some really good finds already. And I have just had a target down here which was really faint, and it came up at about 54 to 55, and I've dug the hole, a relatively deep hole, and something really interesting has just come out of it. Come and check this out. Okay, so this is the little target that I've just seen that has come out of this hole. Now, this is going to be one of two things. It's going to be a nice juicy silver coin, or of course it's going to be a pewter button. And as you know, I absolutely love pewter buttons. No, I don't. Absolutely not. So let's hope it's not a pewter button, but let's brush the mud off and see what we've got. Oh dear. Of course, it is a pewter button. But it was a deep pewter button, so it means that if coins are deep in this field, then we're going to find them. Just so happens on this occasion, we've gone and found a pewter button. Absolutely gutted. Oh well, let's move on. So have a little look at this, guys. I was walking along the field, and just literally lying, poking out of the surface, was this massive barrel tap. Now, it's not a tremendously old one. I'd probably say it was Victorian or something like that. So I'm just going to kind of leave it there, and maybe someone else will want to pick it up and have a look. But right next to it, on the floor, lying on the surface, was something much better. Come and have a look at this. You see that? That was literally just lying on the surface of the ground, and it's a pretty interesting little find. Let's go and take a look. So let's go in and investigate this little find, because I think I know what this is straight away, and it's a pretty cool little find just to be lying on the surface. And what I think this is actually a little post-medieval sword hanger. And you would get loads of these on a little sort of bar, and the bar would once have attached to a sword, and it would have just been a nice bit of bling and decoration for your sword. And these are quite a common design as well, because it's got a almost foliage pattern going all the way down it. And the big giveaway here is of course the hole at the top, and that's where it once would have fastened to the sword belt or the hanger of the sword belt. And yeah, once it would have been absolutely gloriously shiny with some nice black inlay detail on it as well. And it probably dates to the 1600s, which is really interesting, because it means that even in the 1600s, there were likely people in here on horseback who had arms and weapons, and of course were doing something. Was it still a deer park then? I have no idea, but it would be nice to think so, wouldn't it? What a truly wonderful little artifact this is, just to find on the surface of this ploughed soil. Didn't even have to dig a hole to own something with this much historical relevance. A really cool little post-medieval sword hanger. So just like last week, we have another little target hidden in and amongst this little muddy ball. So it sounded amazing. Have a little listen to this. Absolutely wonderful. What's going to be inside of it? It's like Christmas all over again. Are we going to get something good, or is it going to be junk? Let's try this bit. So it's not in that bit. Let's try this bit. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's just a button. It's just a button. Nothing good, but hey, it could have been anything at all. It's like opening a present on Christmas Day, expecting the Sega Mega Drive, but only getting the Sega Master System. Well, if I'm honest, I was wondering how long it would take for me to find one of these, because if you watched last week's video, and by the way, if you didn't watch last week's video, where have you been? That video was definitely amazing. I'll put a link to it at the end of this video, so definitely go back and watch that. But if you watched last week's video, you will remember that I found loads of silver medieval hammered coins that were 800 years old. And today I have come down on another one, and I'm absolutely chuffed because this one is in quite good condition and it's got some nice detail on it. However, it's a little bit broken, not by me this time, but come and take a look. Not only have we gone and found an amazing little hammered coin, but it's a really small one too, much smaller than the sort of usual pennies that we've been finding in this field. But look at that side there, it's got a long cross on it, so it's going to be 1400, something like that. And of course it's got the little decoration just in the center of the cross, which you can see there, and sometimes that is the mint mark. But let's turn it over and have a look. Let's pick some of this mud off really gently because we don't want to go breaking this coin. Let's have a little look. Oh, there's definitely a little portrait on there. Absolutely 100% a little portrait on there. I can't quite tell who it is. Is it this way around? No, it's definitely that way around there because I think the top of the crown is there. Who is this? It's definitely a medieval coin, and it's an absolute shame that it's broken ever so slightly, because this would have been an absolutely wonderful little coin when it was being used. It's obviously smaller than a penny, so it could be a half penny or something like that, and it could be like a Durham mint penny. So quite an interesting coin, and it's certainly travelled a little way as well. And yeah, oh, how gutted, how absolutely gutted that this little coin is broken, because it could have been a really special one indeed. But I'm gonna have to clean it up when I get home, be extra careful with it, and see if I can get some more information from it. And of course, when I do, I will pop it on the video for you all to see as well. But that is another hammered coin in here, so that's 5 for me in total. I wonder what else we're going to find. What an amazing place. I spy with my little eye another surface find. I didn't spot this with just my eyes, by the way. The metal detector did make a noise over it, but it was just lying just like this on the surface of this field. And let's take a look at it and see what it is. So it's obviously in the shape of a triangle. It doesn't really have a hole on that end. But yeah, I don't know. Is this just a piece of modern trash? It seems to be made of a copper alloy. It's certainly got a lot of copper in there because it's quite a red colour. But I don't really know what this is, to be honest. Absolutely no idea what this was once used for. But it was a pointy little thing. Nonetheless, I've got a feeling that it might be squashed. So it looks like it's folded over here, so it could once have been maybe sort of circular or something like that, but it doesn't have any decoration on it, and it's obviously in a pretty bad way, unfortunately. But yeah, it's another target in this field. Has anyone ever found anything like this? Then hit me up in the comments below, let me know what you think of it. But there we are, it's just a little copper alloy pointy thing. So we've got another little target just down here in this ploughed field, and it is such a sweet little target. Have a little listen. So it definitely sounds like there's something there, but it also sounds like it's really close to the top as well, so I don't think we're going to have to dig too much in order to get this one out. It could just be a button. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but we'll try a live dig and hopefully luck will be on our side. Okay, so as you can tell, I'm actually using the hand trowel today, just because last time when we were here, I felt really guilty about unearthing some of these really young plants. So I thought, well, if we use the hand trowel, then I've got a bit more control and I don't have to dig as much soil out in order to get the target out. Okay, so whatever this target is, it's inside this little bore, and I wonder if that's it there. There you go. That is indeed the target. But what on earth is it? I know what it isn't, and that is a nice shiny coin or something like that, but it was a nice sounding little target, and I'm not really too sure what we've got here because it appears to be made of lead. However, it's also sort of moulded into this weird little sort of dish shape. Yeah, absolutely no idea. But that could have been anything at all. That could have been a coin, could have been an artifact, whatsoever. But I think it's going to take a bit more investigation to try and figure out what this might once have been. However, yeah, live digs never really turn out very well for me. But we've got to give it a go because one day we might get something really good. But this time it's just a lump of lead. Take a look at this little fella here, which has just come out of the ground completely fresh, and it's quite interesting. So it's made of copper alloy, and on the back here you can see it's got some fastenings. Now I think this little find is one of two things. My first thought is that this is a little strap end, because it's got the rounded bit on the bottom here, and you can see on the back the fixings which would have gone through the leather strap. So you can definitely imagine this hanging on the bottom of a belt or a horse strap or something like that. But the other thing it could be is possibly some type of clasp. So I have seen things like this also on books and those sorts of things. Could even be from furniture and from a cask, but you know, it's a bit of a long shot really for it to go into wood, because usually it would be nailed on and it wouldn't have little rivets like this. So my guess is that this is most certainly some sort of little strap end of some kind, but I wouldn't tell you how old it is because, to be honest, I have absolutely no idea. This could be 100 years old, but it also could be 500, 600, 700 years old. I have literally no idea. But it's another great find for this field because, of course, it does mean that there were people in here with straps if they were horse riders, hunting the deers and things like that. And these are the sorts of things that they would drop. So it's really cool to find them because it puts you straight in touch with those people from all of that time ago. So yeah, a possible strap end, maybe possible. But as always, what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Oh my God. I have just plucked something from this ground which is super, super cool. It was literally just below the surface. I mean, 2 inches at absolute best. And I dug the hole and this thing just flopped out and I was like, oh my goodness. Guys, we have just found something super, super special, because the more I look at it, the more I think that this is going to be an absolutely awesome, awesome find. Let's not talk. Let's go in and have a closer look. So this is exactly as I have just found it, plucking it from the ground. And this is as I saw it, and I think I know what this is. I honestly think I know what this is, and oh my goodness, this is a special, special little find. Surely this is going to be what I think it is. Surely it is. Let's just give it a little gentle clean off. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that. Oh, this is so good. What a find. What a find. Wow. Okay, so if you don't know what this is, I will happily tell you what I think this is. And the reason why I said that I think I know what this is because I have found one of these before. And these are very, very special items, because if you look at the front here, and I really don't want to scrub this a lot because I know that these are gilded, so all the gold will just come off if I rub it. So this thing needs a proper clean, and by that I mean maybe by a conservator, because it's that special. So what I think we have just gone and found in this field is a Tudor dress hook. The reason I think that is because, look, it's got a hook here. They usually have a little bracket here, and that's where the belt goes in. And on the front is quite possibly some of the most wonderful decorative features that you will ever see on a Tudor item. Wow. Oh my goodness. So this is going to be classed as treasure 100%, because the one that I found many years ago also got classed as treasure. The reason why is because it is made of solid silver, and it's obviously got the gold inlays on the front as well, and 100% it's over 300 years old, and it's made of precious metal. Guys, we have just gone and found treasure in this absolutely amazing field, and to be honest, I am totally buzzing. I just cannot emphasize how much this is such a special little find. If you know anything about metal detecting and history and finds, you will know just how awesome these things are, and they really don't come up very often at all. Because it was a dress hook, it was worn on the dress, not necessarily women, also men as well, to keep garments together. A little bit like a sort of late medieval brace, something like that. And these things would have been designed to be seen. They're made of solid silver. They would have been worn by very high status people. And we've just gone and found one. Absolutely buzzing. I can't believe it. So we have just unearthed a stunning little buckle, and yeah, this thing was definitely going to be dug because it was such a nice signal. And if I'm really careful, I think I'm going to get this buckle with the center pin, which is actually super rare. So the first thing is, obviously it's a spectacle buckle without a doubt, and of course the pin in the center there is where it went through the leather strap, and of course the strap passed through this section, came out of here, and then the hole with the pin would have kept it in place. Now it's a really small one. In fact, look, this is my finger and this is the actual buckle. That is how small it is. So it is such a delicate little item. But do I think it's old? I don't think it is, to be honest with you. I would say maybe 1800, something like that, which I get it, it's still old. It's certainly a lot older than me, but it's not the medieval stuff that we were finding last time, and it's definitely not the Tudor amazing dress hook that we've recently had, which, to be honest, I am still absolutely buzzing about. But hey, we've gone and found a buckle and I really like it. And even if it's just a couple of 100 years old, then it's still definitely coming home with me in the pouch. So let's crack on while the sun's still shining and see what else we can get from this absolutely amazing field. Always clean your crusty coins, because I have just plucked this from the ground, and at first I thought, oh, it's nothing great, it's just a crusty old coin, not a lot of detail on there. And then I gave it a bit of a clean, and very subtly on the front you can see a little fleur de lis here in the bottom corner, and you can also see some writing on it, which means that this is not a British coin. Now, what's interesting about that is last week we found a hammered coin which turned out to be a Dutch hammered coin. So it's very likely that this is also a foreign coin, and could it also be a Dutch one very similar to the one that we had last week. I am so glad I decided to clean the mud off of this and just take a look, because it's just revealed so much information about the site where we're detecting. And it's potentially quite a cool little find. I mean, I'm never going to get a lot of detail from this little coin, but detail aside, information is key, and that is exactly what this little coin has just told me. Absolutely love it. Hopefully I can get a little bit more detail from it, and if I can, I'll pop it on the video for you all to see. So we are fast approaching the end of the day. The sun is starting to come down, and it's about 4 o'clock, which means we've probably got about an hour to an hour and a half left. I've started working an area of the field which I haven't really been to before, and to be honest, it hasn't really been that great. We certainly aren't getting all of the amazing medieval goodies that we had in last week's video, aside the silver gilt and gold dress hook. But I've just had something in this area of the field which is actually quite interesting, and it's quite cool because I don't really find these very much at all. And I think what I've gone and found is a tiny little crotal bell. Let's have a look. So this is what I have just pulled out of the ground, and I can't decide whether or not it is actually a crotal bell or whether or not it's just one of those normal bells that you would get off of a dog's collar or something like that, because it is quite small, I'm not gonna lie. However, I have found a few crotal bells in the past, and they've all had this very stereotypical attachment loop on the top, which indicates to me that it's probably a little bit older than a normal standard kind of dog bell or something like that. But it is super small, and it doesn't have any decoration on it, which usually a crotal bell would. However, it's got that very stereotypical crotal bell thing on the bottom there just to stop the bell from coming out, and I am going to be really interested to know whether or not this thing actually rings once I've cleaned it out. And to do that, I've got to let it soak in water so that all of this mud comes out without me having to invade it and pick it out as well. So hopefully we've gone and found a nice little ringer here, but failing that, you know, even if it is just a normal bell off of a collar or something like that, then equally quite chuffed with that. So yeah, really nice. Let's push on and see what else we can get out of this awesome field. So there we go. We are now at the end of our second day metal detecting in this amazing ploughed field. When I first came into this field, I wanted to know, was this even a deer park? Documents state that this was a deer park in and around the 13 to 1400s, and through the things that we have found over the last 2 days, we have absolutely confirmed that when this was being used was around that time. We've also had loads of finds from across the time periods, but let's face it, the find that we had today, which was the 1500s Tudor dress buckle, is absolutely wonderful. I was not anticipating to come into this field and find something that was going to be classed as treasure, and I am absolutely so excited to find out some more information about it and get it off to the FLO as soon as possible. So I just want to say thank you all so much for watching my adventures over the last couple of days. I really hope you've enjoyed seeing all of the things come out of the ground. And don't forget, if you like metal detecting content just like this and you've watched all the way to the end, you might as well subscribe, because I upload a video every single week for you to enjoy in the comfort of your own home. And don't forget, do drop me a thumbs up. The button is just below. That will give me some extra fuel for the fire to go out and create more videos for you. So I am off home now. I will catch you all on the very next hunt. And until then, I'll see you all on the very next hole.